of payment of FIRS. And now that we are seeking compliance checks, you now tell us that you did not pay this amount because you are relying on this exemption letter on CIT, on short-term bonds and all of that. So it's contradictory, conflicting, and I'm sure you know that bank directors are appointed by CBN and they are statutory officers. And you know the implication of all of this. And it's worrisome when financial institutions who declare huge financial earnings now begin to walk around the numbers to make casualties of the tertiary institution and students whom they are supposed to help. All we are asking is apply the law and don't brandish different statements at different occasions. I don't know if you want to. Yeah. Everything you have here is based on their submission. We only extrapolated. This is a summary of their submission.
Let me see. Non-taxable income struck exempt items of 1.21582 trillion. 2 trillion. Trillion. And then we have a tax liability at 2% stroke 2.5 as applicable of 5,491, 5,491. Yes, it's the exempt, yeah. Non-taxable stock exempt items, yeah. You said? Well, they are what they are, they are exempt items. So ideally they should be exempt in computing the tax liability. To the committee.
Okay, then if you add it up, you sum the credit and the debit.
Yeah.
You end up with 3,749,353,236
outstanding liability. That is.
And they note there is penalty for
yes.
non-remittance.
That is why, Honorable, I mentioned that if there are issues that we cannot resolve at this committee hearing, our respective. Let me speak. Let me speak. Let me speak. What you have in terms of items that you have you've classified as taxable, we have some differences based on the provision of the exemption order that was issued by the president in 2011. And that's why I said some of these issues we may not be able to resolve at this sitting. It is good we have time, and I believe this does not just apply to First Bank because it's an issue that applies to other banks as well. Our consultants have been interacting over time, and the issue of the exemptions that are provided for in the presidential order of 2011, which I have here, that exempt certain categories of incomes from tax. So basically, no, let me have the chairman. Let me have the. No, but it's good I have the attention of the chairman. She's the one that is interrogating me. Sorry. So as I was saying, based on that presidential order issued in 2011, there are certain categories of income that are exempt from tax. Some of them include short-term federal investment income from short-term federal government instruments and securities such as treasury bills and promissory notes, bonds issued by federal, state, and local governments, and bond issued by corporate bodies, including supranationalities. The last item there is interest earned by holders of the bond and short-term securities listed in paragraph 1 to 3 above. So by the time, Madam Chair and members of the committee, by the time you take into consideration income earned from these instruments over the period of the audit of the committee, the difference between the submissions we have made and the submissions you have in your record will be identified and will be able to reconcile. Yeah, it will be zero. It will be zero. We are very sure. Let me add that First Bank as an institution, and that is why, despite the short notice of this invitation, we found it fit and very necessary to be here. We saw it yesterday, and I represent the bank MD. I'm also an executive director on the board of the bank. We find this invitation very important, and we felt we have to come and appear before the representatives of Nigerian people to explain this. Tax matters are so critical. We are a compliant institution. We are also very socially responsible, and we take these issues very, very seriously. So by the time you add up those exemptions from what we have, I'm sure we'll arrive at the same figure with the committee's consultants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the highlight.
The Freedom of Information Act allows everybody, and relevant sections of FIRS Act allows individuals now to do self-assessment. But we have decided to limit the scope of this committee with what you have declared to us as your taxable income. And it is based on your submissions that we have drawn this, and we can give it to you. The Secretariat can avail you with these details before you go. So, Secretariat, kindly avail First Bank and other appearing entities.
Through a letter.
It will be an attachment to your letter.
Okay, so committee would write to you officially and communicate this to you, which we have extrapolated from your submission with no additions.
Can I continue with my question?
You can continue.
Okay, my brother, I am back. Yes, the exemption letter states for, I'm coming, sir. I'm coming. I'm protected. I'm protected. I'm protected. Sir, you humbly said there is an exemption letter. And the exemption letter carries how many years? You said 10 years. 10 years. 10 years. 10 years start from 2011 to which year, sir? 2022. 2022? How about my brother? 2011 to which year, sir? 2021. Oh, I thought. Okay, sir. No. Let me just take you on 2022. Yes. Your liability in 2022, your tax computed in 2022 from the record, from note submission. 17 of the financial statement, page 114, was 5,481 million. You could only, in quotes, from the records, paid 1,732,15,340 kobo.
Deputy Chairman, sir.
Okay, I stop there.
No, not okay. I just, for fair hearing, okay. It is my application that they have access to this document so that you can be on the same.
Okay.
No, you extract, man, by my understanding, man. This was extracted
from the record
submission. Yeah. So what I'm saying is this: it's for fair hearing, so that we are both on the same page. It's my application that they should be giving a copy of this document, so that you're on the same page as they are. As you are.
When you are on the same page, we talk on the same paragraph, one by one.
We'll give them, then we'll now write it down.
Excuse me.
Okay. Clark, when are we finishing with the Southwest?
Chairing Finance Committee did allude to the fact that we employ respected consultants, not just on tax matters, but in also auditing our accounts. We hold ourselves to very high standards of conduct and responsibility. So, madam. Yes, madam. I'm speaking to the issue. So the point of the issue I'm making is, just as like I alluded from the beginning, some of these issues we may not be able to we may not be able to comprehensively address them in this hearing. So, just like the honorable member moved and the motion seconded, the information required by the committee, we will avail them, and we also seek the kind indulgence of the committee to have our consultants and the consultants of the committee to sit down and reconcile some of these issues. This is our prayer. And it's also in line with the motion made by the chair of Finance Committee. Thank you very much for the chair. I know him to be chair of Finance Committee anyway. It's public accounts, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Apologies. It's okay. Thank you very much.
And make observation. I represent Academic Staff Union of Politics. Do I have the privilege of asking and commenting in the proceedings? Okay. Thank you. My understanding of the bank computed by its own engaged and serving consultants who arrive at 493 million as tax liability. At the same time, the company or the bank made a payment of 191,736 million to FIRS. Are they claiming that they have settled the liability of 2012 by making payment of 191, or there is still an outstanding liability which they are aware to be settled subsequently? That is one question. Secondly, if they agreed that there is an outstanding liability of 301,263 naira, they agreed that that is an outstanding, which the chairman has consistently been pointing out, that you have engaged somebody to serve you, he served you diligently, and arrive at this tax liability which you publish. At the same time you made this payment, you should by simple arithmetic calculate and arrive at outstanding of 301 million. Having arrived at that, now the committee is rejecting in court the so-called, by the presentation based on the presidential order, that 1,462,500,000 as tax exempt. The committee now disagree with that exempt, now is adding it back as a tax liability, thereby arriving at 1,763,000,000. Is that the position? Yes. So that is the clarification I want to have, that they should take home or back to the bank that the claim is eventually having rejected this exempt, and also the penalty served on failure to pay, which is counted on daily basis, sometimes on monthly basis. Now we are expecting payment of 2,203,000,000 in 2012. That is what I understood from the whole discussion, and which now the committee is presenting to the bank to go and clear this, if there is any clarification that needs to be done through the bank managers as well as the consultant, the tax consultant. Is that the position? That is my understanding. Okay.
From their for submission, they are not the maker. I'm commissioner. They're not the author and maker of this document. It's on that basis for us to get to the root of this matter. It's on that basis that I came with a motion that I moved, which the committee agreed to, because the primary source of document is key. We want to have, because sir, if an executive order was issued in which year? 2010, 2011, and then you have a presentation, you have a review, because what we are doing now is post-mortem. So the financial activities had been carried out in the past. So, and this order was given in 2011. And I don't want to take us into some legalities that are contestable, because I was having a chat with my colleague here that the lifespan of a financial act is a year. The lifespan of a financial year of a finance act, appropriation act, is a year. Now you've told this committee that this, sir, we do respect my colleagues. It's only in the UK that the Queen, now as we have King, commits no crime. Here, human beings, we can make mistakes, we can have errors. In Nigeria, we have seen a traditional ruler being sentenced to death for making rituals with a human being. So here, the point I'm making is this: we can have an executive order that can infringe on an act of the parliament. So we need to be guided by this provision. So, sir, my leader, to answer your question, that what we are saying here, that for now, we cannot conclude, like you are saying, until they furnish the tax computation, yes, which under professional evidence, their tax consultant, Deloitte, computed, stamped and sealed and submitted to FIRS, which form the basis of whatever assessment that they have done. Even as a doctor, I want to submit that it may not be final, because we want to have Deloitte seated here for cross-examination.
Honorable member,
thank you.
I think we are talking almost the same thing.